Good evening. Welcome to Lyndale Secondary College. Tonight is our first ever information night to parents online. So as part of this being the first time that we're running an activity like this, I'm anticipating there may be some technical issues, so I would like to apologise in advance and welcome your patience with us and tolerance. The evening will run as a presentation. I'll be sharing a PowerPoint with you. At the end of the evening, that PowerPoint will be placed online for you to access, and information on how to access it will be provided to you. At the end of the presentation, I will also provide you with the opportunity to ask me questions. And those questions, unfortunately, will have to be typed into the chat box. And I will respond to those at the end of the evening. So please don't paste anything there yet now. I'll tell you when it's time for you to place your questions. Before I go any further, my name is Pam Robinson and I'm the acting principal of the school. Welcome. And let's proceed. So, as I said, my name is Pam Robinson. The principal of the school, Mark Moyer, unfortunately is not able to be present at this information evening as he's on leave. And I am one of the assistant principals in the school, and the other assistant principal in the school is Aisha Shariat. Your children as Year 7 students will belong to what we refer to as the middle school. The middle school is the sub-school that looks after half of our student population, which is our Year 7s, our Year 8s and our Year 9s. And they're led by a sub-school leader, Jennifer Ramers. The Year 7s are looked after by our Year 7 coordinators. And our Year 7 coordinators this year are Miss Amanda Crosby and Miss Carolyn Franklin. And your children would have seen both Amanda and Carolyn Franklin during meetings with the primaries. So up till now, they have met, both Amanda and Carolyn have met with the grade 6 teachers and have collected information about your children. And I believe they've also had an opportunity to meet with your students, yes, albeit online, but they have met with your children. Your children during the year will also come in contact with the Wellbeing and Integration team. And the Wellbeing and Integration team are led by Anna Finlay, Rose Kukin, and Alana McCormick. But everyday running of the sub-school, and in particular the Year 7s, is carried out by the Year 7 coordinators. Lyndale Secondary College is committed in ensuring that our students are safe and connected to school. So, committed to the safety and well-being of all children and young people. This will be the primary focus of the care and decision-making in the school, in its planning, decision-making and operations. As part of our child-safe obligations, Lyndale will engage only the most suitable people to work with children and have high-quality staff and professional development. We ensure that children know who to talk with if they are worried or are feeling unsafe, and that they are comfortable and encouraged to raise any issues with us. Our students are encouraged to report issues that concern them, and then we are mandated to report those. We share information appropriately and lawfully with other organisations where the safety and well-being of children is at risk, and we value the input and communication regularly with families and carers. Student wellbeing supports transition of your children. They support the transition of your children in a variety of ways. Class support, counselling support, small group activities, mentoring programs, peer support leaders, student support group meetings, financial hardship consideration. So we work closely with State School Relief, Student Wellbeing Library, Smith Family Scholarships. But another wellbeing support that we have to ensure that transition of our students is smooth is we run workshops with parents. And we refer to those workshops as Insight, and we run those workshops at the beginning of each school year. There are 3 workshops being planned for the beginning of next year, and I'll talk a little bit more about those later on. When your child comes to Lyndale, they will have access to an online portal. That online portal is Compass. As a parent, how do you access Compass? Your access to Compass will not take place until your child actually starts with us here at Lyndale, and that will be the first day back next year. To find Compass, to access Compass, what you will need to do is search for our webpage. So you will search for our webpage, and then when you look right up at the top right hand corner, you'll see that there is a little button, and that little tab button is called Compass School Manager. And once you click onto that, it will take you to a page that would look like that. When your child starts with us, we will issue them with your Compass login details, which will be your child's ID number, and then a temporary password that you will need to use to log on, and then you will change that login password to something that you will that will be familiar only to you and not to anyone else. Compass is an online portal, and Compass is what we here at school will use to communicate with you as the parent. Compass will have your child's timetable. It will have the lessons that your teachers will deliver. It will have the assignments that will be set for your child to complete, the assessment tasks. It will provide you with a newsfeed with all the information in relation to what is happening in the school, copies of newsletters, communications with your child's classroom teachers. You will be able to communicate with your child's teachers via email by using Compass. You will also utilise Compass to provide your child with consent to excursions and any other school activities, and you'll have access to your child's interim reports and end of semester reports. You also will pay your school fees using Compass. B.Y.O.D devices. We are a B.Y.O.D school. Your child on the first day will need to bring with them in their bag an exercise book with a pen, but also a laptop, a device. What sort of laptop, what sort of device must your child bring to school with them? We are not an Apple school. We are not an iPad school. We are a PC school. So what does that mean? A device that has a keyboard. A non-Apple device is what is required. It must be a device that can connect to the wireless network. It must be a device that fits in a locker, which is approximately that big, the locker. So the bag with a laptop needs to be able to fit into that. And it must be a reasonable size for your child to be able to carry from one class to another. It must have a keyboard connected to the device. It cannot be a separate keyboard. No phones, no tablets can be used in class. Needless to say, no phone can be visible during the school day. Otherwise, that phone will be confiscated by staff. The device that you purchase for your child does not have to be the latest device. It does not have to be the most expensive device. It must be a device that is reasonably new. It doesn't have to be brand new. It needs to have a minimum requirement of approximately 4 gig of RAM, 128 GBs. It is not to be a device that has the latest on it. When you purchase your device, or you are allocating a device to your child to bring to school, please ensure that that is a device that if it drops and breaks, it is not going to be a device that it will cause a major problem at home. It has to be a device, and that's why we keep saying it cannot be an expensive device. It needs to be a device that if it is expensive, it has an insurance cover attached to it. Now, when you purchase your device or you allocate your device, you do not need to worry about any software that are placed on that device. Your child will come with a device, it will have its operating system, and then we as a school will ensure that the software that we require for your child to use in their everyday activities here at school and at home are provided to your child. They will be installed. And that will be something that our computer technicians will ensure will take place within the first week that your child is here at school. At school, the iTunes Store and Google Play are unreliable, and as such, the Department of Education blocks all of these sites. So, as a recap, I think I've emphasised already, please do not buy a device that is more than $500. A device of approximately $400, if you are purchasing a new device, will suffice. It will be enough. Please do not invest in Macs or in tablets. It needs to be a device that has the keyboard as an attached feature on the actual device. And please do not worry about the software that need to be installed on the device. That will be taken care of here at school by our computer technicians. Antiviral software. Do not install any free trials of antivirus software provided with a new laptop. The school will provide with all the software, including antivirus software. So please do not make any investment in those sort of programs. Again, I will provide you with a PowerPoint that I am referring to at the end of the session. Now, earlier today, at the beginning of this session, I did talk about the Insight Days. So, a lot of our parents that come to us that haven't had another child here at school, at Lyndale, or do not have older children that have been through or are currently in a secondary school, you haven't had exposure to programs such as Compass or an understanding of the language that we use here at school in relation to assessment and reporting, but also the type of structures that we have in a secondary school. So in order to familiarise parents with processes that we use here at school, we run workshops, and we run those workshops on Saturdays. And they run for approximately 2 hours on a Saturday morning at around about 9:30 in the morning. In 2021, we will be running 3 workshops. The first one will be on Saturday, the 6th of February. The second one will be on Saturday, the 20th of February. And the third one will be on Saturday, the 27th of February. Each workshop has a different focus. So the first workshop will have a focus on Compass, totally on Compass. So we will show you with a pretend student how to log on. You will bring your devices with you and we will run through as a workshop. So we will show, you will do. So that way you familiarise yourself how to navigate using the Compass portal. On the second workshop, we will focus on a different aspect. So it might be well-being. And then on the third workshop, we will focus on another aspect, and it might be reporting. So each workshop will have a different focus. On the first workshop though, apart from Compass, we will also run through how do you support your child at home with English? How do we support our children to improve their literacy needs? So our leading teacher responsible for literacy across the curriculum, across the college, will be presenting that workshop. And then on one of the other workshops, we will have our numeracy leader, and he will talk about how do we support our children at home with maths. So those workshops, you'll receive further information through Compass, but also we'll have them on our notice boards, but we will also send you invitation via your children. Our music program. We're very proud of our music program. Stephen Rout is our leading teacher of performing arts, and unfortunately this year due to COVID, we weren't able to have a production, or our performing arts program wasn't that active because of the remote learning. But the year prior to this year, we had our very first musical, Hairspray. Phenomenal musical. Our student participation was phenomenal, and their talent definitely did shine through. So Stephen works, and his team of staff work with your child as part of the Year 7 instrumental music program, but also our performing arts program, and they work with your child to instruct them in the use of different instruments. And you'll find out a lot more about the instrumental program during the Insight workshop that we'll be running next year. Uniform. Uniform is always a topic that parents do want to know about. At Lyndale, we are very proud to have a uniform that students can wear with pride. Both the summer and winter uniform are suitable for the weather demands of Melbourne. So different layers to accommodate the different weather needs. The school blazer sets the standard for the college uniform and is expected to be worn by students each day. And that includes wearing it to and from school. Students, of course, have the what is allowed and what is not allowed. Natural hair colour, no nail polish, no facial piercings. They're the not allowed, the non-negotiables. The uniform expectations are clearly outlined in the school diary that each student receives at the beginning of each year. And your child will receive a school diary at the beginning of next year. PSW is our uniform supplier, and on orientation day next week, your child will be measured for their blazer. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we cannot accommodate parents coming into the school to and for children to wear the blazers the way we used to wear them in the past to determine sizes. But your child's sizing will be determined on Tuesday, and that information will be sent home with them. As I said earlier, we work very closely with State Schools Relief to support families that may be experiencing hardship and are not able to purchase a uniform. I do need to say though that the school blazer is not supported by the State Schools Relief initiative, and the school blazer is $135, and we are in the process of organising our work through sustainable schools where families are able to sell blazers, and new families can purchase from old families. At the beginning of each year, we run our Year 7 camp. During 2021, our Year 7 camp will take place on the 17th of February. Students will leave on Wednesday the 17th, and they'll be back at school on Friday the 19th. Our venue is always the Lady Northcote Recreation, Bacchus Marsh. A beautiful campsite. Students are involved in a lot of team building activities, building relationships, because we have our students that come to us from approximately 30 different schools. So we focus on relationship building, team building, self-resiliency, and confidence in themselves. So the type of activities that they take part in are canoeing, mountain biking, flying fox, yabbing, just to name a few. The mobile phone policy. Mobile phone policy came into play at the beginning of this year. Mobile phones, of course, were under the Minister's direction to be banned in all schools, and students in Victorian government schools, state schools, were not to bring mobile phones onto school grounds. The purpose for this was to help reduce distraction, tackle cyberbullying, improve learning outcomes for students. So when a student enters our school grounds, that mobile phone needs to be in their pocket, non-visible, and it cannot come out of that pocket until they leave the school grounds. If that mobile phone is cited by a staff member, they will be requesting for the mobile phone to be handed in. Along with the mobile phone is a no headphone, no earphones. No earphones to be worn during the day, unless of course they're in a classroom and those earphones are needed to be connected to the laptop for work to be done. General information. Book lists. Book lists have already been provided to students. Book lists can also be accessible on our campus portal, but they can also be accessible on our website. A lot of our parents, when their child first starts in Year 7, look at book lists and there can be some confusion. Do I buy everything on the book list? You only need to buy what is required for the subjects that your child is actually going to be involved in. If you experience difficulties with completing the book list, please contact the school and make an appointment, and our office staff will be more than happy to support you in completing the book list. Do I have to buy all my books from Lamont brand new? No, you do not have to buy all your books brand new from Lamont. You can buy your books secondhand from Sustainable store, and the link to that will be provided to you in the documentation that we provide you. First aid, allergies and medicine. As a school, we are not allowed to provide any medication to students unless we have the explicit written consent from parents. If your child requires medication, that needs to be clearly labelled in a container with clear instructions, and that needs to be provided to our front office. If your child has allergies or if they have asthma and need specific treatment, then a medical plan needs to be completed by your practitioner and handed in to school. Absences. It's not okay to be away. That is a policy that we follow. Students are required to be at school every day. If they are absent, that absence needs to be recorded, and it needs to be recorded on campus. That information on how to record an absence on campus will be the very first thing that we will go through with you on our Insight workshop on that first Saturday when we will meet. If a child is late or needs to leave early, again, that needs to be clearly, we need to be instructed about that. You need to provide us with that information in a note form and or by placing it on campus. Lockers and locks. During the first week, all students will be allocated with a locker. They are not to swap lockers. The locker that they are given at the beginning of the year is the locker that they will return back to us at the end of the year. Padlocks can be purchased at the front office, or you can purchase your padlock from Bunnings or your other hardware shop that you prefer to shop at. It needs to be a nice, sturdy lock, not a small lock, and that lock needs to be on your child's locker at all times. The key to that lock needs to be kept on your child. If the lock has a combination, then your child needs to know how to use the combination. If you purchase a lock from the school, then we will show your child how to use that lock, and we can also reset your child's combination to that lock. School diary. During the first 2 weeks, we will show your child how to use a diary. Your child will be issued with a school diary, and in that diary are all our policies, all our bell times, uniform policy, and we will show your child how to use the diary to record homework, but also you can communicate to us via the diary. School fees. School fee notification was placed in the information that we provided you, but it will also be placed on campus. Our school fees for 2021 for Year 7 is $90, and that covers the essential materials, the essential program that we run in the school. If you can please make a time to either come into the school and make that payment, or you can make that payment online via campus. classes or class changes. Your child has been placed in a class, and that class that your child was placed in was based on the information that we have received from the primary schools, plus on the language choice that your child has or has chosen. Class changes are not possible. Those class allocations, were based on the information that we received, which range from your child's literacy and numeracy needs, but also recommendations that were made by the primaries in relation to who to group your child with. Your child will receive their timetable as soon as they can log on to Compass. Once they log on to Compass, the timetable will be there, visible to them, but also visible to you. If you have any concerns in relation to any of the information that I provide you tonight, or you need to query something, the first point of call will be contacting the sub-school, the middle sub-school, and asking to speak to the Year 7 coordinators. Canteen. We have a canteen that is operated by an external provider, and it is accessible lunchtime, but also recess to your child. Canteen, your child can actually go to the canteen and purchase food through the use of a credit card. We try to avoid cash these days, but also you can order online what your child wants to have for recess or for lunch. But your child can also bring food items from home, as long as they're allergy free. So no peanuts at school. Co-curricular activities. The school offers your child a lot of opportunities to be involved in a lot of different activities. For example, inter-school sport, SRC, different lunchtime activities that could range from sporting activities, debating, STEM activities, music program. But we also run after-school programs such as homework clubs. And then, of course, we have our Star Search and performing arts and technology festivals. Tutoring program runs in two different spots. Our Year 7s have their own homework program, and that runs in the canteen. And then we also have a homework program that runs for the entire school, and that is in the library. The dates for next year of what runs where haven't been designated, but it will be from 3:10 to 4 o'clock. What all Year 7s want to know about now is Orientation Day. So our Orientation Day for this year will be on Tuesday the 8th of December. You arrive at 8:45 for a 9 o'clock start, and you'll be dismissed at 2:20. When you arrive, you will arrive via Gate 1. Your entry will be via Gate 1 on Gladstone Road, and you will wait outside the stadium to be allowed into the stadium. What your child will need to bring with them, they will need to be in the school uniform of their primary school. So the uniform they would wear at their normal, as part of their everyday uniform at primary school is what will require your child to be in on Tuesday the 10th of December. We will provide your child with some morning tea and any pens and paper for the day, but we need you to provide your child with their packed lunch and drink. During the day, we'll provide them with a range of different activities to give them a bit of a feel of what a normal Year 7 school day would look like. We're very excited to see them, and we also look forward to meeting you if you're available in the morning. The orientation timetable, 8:45 is arrival for 9 o'clock start. As I said beforehand, entry via Gate 1 at the in front of the stadium on Gladstone Road. 9 o'clock orientation day begins. There will be an assembly and a welcome, and then we'll start our rotations throughout the day of your child experiencing different classes. 2:20 your child will be dismissed, and again they can be collected from the stadium, and again please entry into the school only via gate 1. Now on Tuesday, when you drop your child off here at school, if you need some support with filling the timetable, or you need to have, you've got some additional questions that I haven't been able to clarify for you in relation to the notebook, their laptop that you will be issuing your child, more than happy, and you're welcome to come to the front office, entry via Holton Road, and speak to the office staff to support you in relation to the book lists, but also to make a time to speak to our IT staff in relation to the devices. As part of the information that I will provide you, there will be some information about the secondary school immunisation program. There will be different type of injections that your child will have. I am not going to talk about them now, but the slides that have been provided by the City of Greater Dandenong will be available for you to refer to. Payments and consents. The Year 7 camp, the deposit is $150. The final camp payment needs to be made excuse me, by the 3rd of February, and the balance is $180. So the camp is a total of $330. College blazer, $132, and that is purchased here from the school. School fees of $170, and there's a payment plan. We do have some second-hand novels, and textbook stationery delivery will be, if you order it through Lamont, will be on Wednesday the 27th. First day of school is Thursday the 28th of January. Year 7 camp is from Wednesday the 17th to Friday the 19th, and there are additional dates there that you can refer to. This brings me to the end of my presentation, the end of me talking. I'm happy to take questions. If you can post your questions on the chat line, and I'll answer them as to the best of my ability. If you already have your device and it is an Apple, then your child can definitely use the device. That's not a problem for us. So that's fine. I'm just trying to work my way through the questions. There's a question there about we can't see the size of a locker. So the locker is approximately, depending on which locker they have, probably 50 centimeters by 35, 40. But we will show your children the size of the lockers during orientation day. So if I answer the question about the Apple, the inside information workshops are for both parents and students, so students are more than welcome to attend. I also think it's quite good for students to be present when the school's talking to parents. There are a couple of devices that you can borrow, and there's a borrowing fee attached to that, and that will be communicated to you. Unfortunately, we don't have that many devices to be leasing out to students because our devices were given out this year during COVID, and they have not been replaced. The PowerPoint to this presentation will be posted by the techies probably within half an hour upon the completion of this workshop. No, you do not bring your device with you on orientation day. You bring your device with you on the first day next year. On orientation day, you drop your child off at the stadium. The children will go inside. Parents are more than welcome to stay and listen to the address. And then you leave your children here, you go home and you come and collect them. If though you wish to receive some support in completing book lists, etc., then you come to the front office and the front office staff will support you with that. It's not confirmed that all students are going to camp next year. The students that will be going to camp are the students, we'll only be taking one bus load, so it's approximately 50 students that will be going on camp. Surface Pro is okay, and Alienware is okay for you to install. A 13-inch screen size will definitely fit into the lockers. Children can walk home. We'll be dismissing them at 2:20, so children can walk home on orientation day. We do not have a school bus any longer, but there is a bus outside the school that students can use. The food that is served in the canteen is halal food, and that is an agreement that we have with a canteen supplier. I think I've already answered that if you already have a MacBook Pro, then they can bring it, but please make sure that there's insurance on that device, because the school does not, is not responsible in relation to any damage or theft associated or misplacement. School bags can be purchased from the uniform supplier, but just a normal backpack is appropriate for your child to be using. You don't have to use a designated Lyndale school bag. Will it be a nut-free refreshments on orientation day? Yes, it will be. Are there any other allergies we need to be considering while packing lunch? Your standard allergies are eggs, sesame seeds, and nuts. Should I buy a new blazer if I already bought one? No. If you've already bought a blazer, you don't need to buy another one. Is jewellery permitted, such as bracelets or necklaces, as long as we cannot see them? And with earrings, sleepers is the best, not the dangling earrings. Parents will receive their Compass logins on their first day. If you wish to make payments prior to that, please, you can call the school and you can make a payment over the phone, or you can actually come in and the front office will support you in making a payment. Unfortunately, we cannot give you access to Compass. Compass, you'll only receive access once your child is enrolled with the school. I understand that forms have been completed and your children are already enrolled here, but the enrollment is not live because they already have an enrollment in the primary school. So the system recognises the enrollment in the primary school, therefore we cannot give you the access to Compass that we would love to be able to give you nice and early. Yes, students from schools, as soon as they come to us, we then look at the classroom arrangement. So we mix all our students. So we don't have Lyndale Green students just with Lyndale Green students. We mix them with students from all the primary schools that we receive. Confirmation of the language will be given to you. I'm hoping very soon. You'll definitely have that. I'm hoping before the end of the year. Talking about confirmation of enrolment and languages. We have received enrolment requests, but the paperwork associated with the enrolment has not come through hasn't been given to us by all families. Unless we receive all the documentation that we need, for example, birth certificates, visas, passports, etc. Unless we receive all the documentation that is listed in the enrolment packs that we have provided, then that enrolment is not live. So what does that mean for orientation day? Unless the enrolment paperwork has been submitted into the school, then your child is not able to be here on Tuesday on orientation day, because our duty of care is one that does not extend for students whose enrolment packs have not been submitted in the school. Laptops that were purchased at the beginning of the year, I'm assuming should have more than 2 hours battery life. Unfortunately, we don't have enough PowerPoints in the school for students to be able to recharge their batteries. So the device that you provide your child with must have a battery life of longer than 2 hours. How big should the lock be? It needs to be a nice sturdy lock. Standard gate lock would be more than enough for students to be placing on their lockers. If you have more than one child in the school, then on your page, as a parent, when you log on, you'll be able to select which child you are looking at. So you'll be able to look, so if you have 3 kids, you'll be able to see timetables. You'll be selecting which child's timetable you're looking at and which child's reports you are looking at. And if you have to communicate with your child's teacher, then you'll be clearly asked to identify which child's teachers you wish to communicate. But again, all that information will be able to provide you when we run the workshops during the Insight days. I'm just trying to read some of the messages. If you have a healthcare card when you're purchasing the uniform, I'm not sure if I can answer that. PSW have their own rules. If you need support with state school relief, then we'll need you to come into the school and we can discuss that. Compass. Compass you can access Compass on Apple phone. Compass is a beautiful program, and I'm going to hold my phone up. So when you have your phone, we will show you how to install the apps on the phone, the Compass app on the phone. So as a parent, you don't need to have a laptop or a standalone computer to check and see what's happening. You can actually log on using your phone to send notes, to make payments, to give consents, check timetables, check reports. So your phone, it doesn't have to be an Apple, it can be an Android, but we will show you during the very first Insight workshop how to use your phone to install Compass, and then how to navigate using your phone, how to navigate Compass using that phone. Even though Apple is not recommended, yes, if you've already purchased an Apple device, yes, you can bring the Apple device. iPads are a definite no. Apple MacBook Pro, yes, you can have that if that's what your choice of device is going to be. And yes, we'll be able to support it and support your children to use that device to install the software that is required on that device. There's secondhand books online via Sustainable School Shop, not through the school. You need to log on to Sustainable Schools School Shop and purchase that way, and you can also purchase uniform. School blazers must be worn to and from school. Yes, I understand if it's a 40-degree day or even a 35-degree day, your child will need to take their blazer off to and from school because it's a hot day. Homework club is free. So all the programs that we involve our children are free, apart of course excursions, all incursions, all homework clubs, they're free. Language choice, unfortunately, cannot be changed the following year. So whatever choice you make now is a choice that you will need to stick with for the next 2-3 years. Will a 15-inch laptop fit in the locker? Yes, it will. If you've been assigned with a language class now that you are not happy with, please do call the front office and leave a message for somebody to contact you so we can make some arrangements. Canteen can be accessed on orientation day. That's not a problem. If the laptop already has a virus guard, not a problem. You do not need to go and buy a new one, a new virus package. What my understanding of a YouTube is, once this session is over, there will be a recording of it, and if you wish to watch it again, by all means you can. And the computer technicians will place the PowerPoint that I have shared with you today on there as well for you to access. The PowerPoint will also be available during the first week when your child comes to school for you to refer to. CSCF information will be provided to you at the beginning of next year. It will go for year 7. It runs from year 7 to year 12, or until I think whatever the age requirement is. You need to have your healthcare card, and you can receive support in completing that paperwork from the front office. You can ask more questions on orientation day, but then again, if you are not able to attend orientation day, then you're more than welcome to attend the Insight workshop and ask questions there. Since I'm talking about Insight workshop, and my preference for the Insight workshop next year is to be on site, and my preference for any meetings with parents is always on site. Unfortunately, COVID has left us in a position where we are not able to run on-site meetings, hence our online. I believe restrictions are lifting. Therefore, I anticipate that our Insight workshops next year will be on site in our Performing Arts building. But if we have COVID restrictions, we will run our workshops, but they will be online. When you order materials from the suppliers such as Lamont, then I believe those materials, you will have a choice whether it comes to the school or whether it's delivered to your home. If you order through Sustainable Shops, then that's an arrangement you'll be making with Sustainable Shops. I'm not familiar. Does the laptop that you purchase now last for 6 years of schooling? No, it will not. And that's why we talk about the device. When we have our Year 7 students, we don't expect them to have a whiz-bang laptop because they're young, they drop, they lose, there are accidents. And that's why we talk about a device that is approximately $400 to $500, and that device should last your child for approximately 3 years. That device is more than enough for the requirements of our everyday activities in class. For Year 7, for Year 8, for Year 9. When your child enters Year 10, the type of programs that they will be exposed to are quite different. So if your child chooses to take part in media, then they will require something that is a lot more substantial. So maybe that's a time that you consider purchasing a Mac or a Surface Pro. But for a Year 7, 8 and 9, we don't expect the device to be a whiz-bang device. We expect it to be a simple device of approximately $400, $500 in order for them to be able to do the searches that they require, but also to take part in the activities that we need them to take part in class as part of Year 7, 8 and 9. And that's why the device, we believe, will last 3 years. They're young kids, but then when they enter Year 10, the level of complexity of what they will take part in class, excuse me, changes, and therefore the device needs to change. And purchasing a Microsoft Surface Pro or MacBook Pro will last them for a lot longer than 3 years. It will last them for TAFE or university. So that is a device that I personally believe, is a device that you should be looking at. You do not have to attend any workshops. It is your choice whether you attend the Insight workshops. Orientation Day, we will not be running through any of the workshop activities that we'll be carrying out during Insight. We are just not in a position to do that. Those Insight workshops will run on a Saturday. No, I will not record them. Yes, I will place the PowerPoint and the notes that we provide on Compass for parents to access. You will meet the Year 7 coordinators for 2020 on Orientation Day. Our coordinators for Year 7 may be the same for next year, but they may be different staff. So you will meet some coordinators on Orientation Day, but I cannot guarantee that they will be the coordinators for 2021. Students will be issued with a personalised school email address that is generated by Compass, generated by the Department of Education, and they will have that email address for the duration at the school. As I said earlier on, not all Year 7 students will go on camp. We're anticipating to have 180 students. On average, we have approximately 50 to 60 students that attend camp. And yes, first in, best dressed. What I mean, those students who complete their payment for camp are guaranteed their position to attend. And you'll receive more information about what students can or cannot take on camp in paper copy from the coordinators. Yes, our senior students did have a parent-teacher meeting. Those arrangements were made on Compass. I am going to leave this meeting now. I would like to thank you for taking part in the chat line. I would like to thank you for tuning in and being the audience of our very first online information night. And finally, I would like to thank you for choosing Lyndale as your child's school. I look forward to travelling on your 6-year journey with you. I look forward to seeing them as Year 7s, but also seeing them graduate as Year 12s. Good night.